Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, in this video, I wanted to make a follow-up to yesterday's video, talk about the Pacers a little bit, and then explain kind of what I do here, because it seems like people just get pissed whenever I talk about trading a player. And there's a couple of things I think that are really important for people to understand, and I want to go over them in this video because I feel like people don't understand what I do, how I do it, or why I do it. So, we're going to do that in this video. The first thing being, I want people to understand that I don't think the team should trade anybody. That's the first thing I want to do with this video, is the idea that I don't think they should trade anybody. My stance is the idea that they should let Miles Turner walk in the offseason. I think they should re-sign Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant's per 36 numbers are better than Miles' starters minutes. His per 36 numbers are better than Miles' starters numbers, and on top of it, even if you look at the one game that Thomas Bryant did get to start this year, he balled out, okay? So that's my stance on that. Now, the reason that I make the videos I do about Obi Toppin being traded and the rumors around Benn Mathurin and stuff like that is because it is trade season, okay? The trade deadline is in 5 days. Any trade or trade rumors that we get about players on our team, I ask myself two questions. The first is, does it come from a reputable source? Okay. Usually, when I look at things from NBA Central, they come from reputable sources, or they quote an article by somebody who works at The Athletic, who works at the LA Times, who works at Yahoo Sports, who works at ESPN, who works at Barstool Sports, whatever. Okay? Usually, I don't make a video on it unless it's from a source that I think I can trust. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, it is trade season. If you haven't noticed, I've essentially stopped making trade videos. Okay? Mainly because I pretty much only talk about the Pacers. The Pacers generally don't do a fucking thing. And then on top of it, I'm just like, you know, it means like the most, I don't know, the most important part of the year for my channel, I've chosen this year to essentially do nothing. Okay? I have chosen to talk about the Pacers and their games and random things regarding the Pacers rather than talk about the things that could get me views. Okay, for the most part. Or bring new subscribers to the channel. Granted, channel's been doing well, which is part of the reason I haven't done that. But I could talk about De'Aaron Fox every single day. I could talk about Jimmy Butler every single day. And it would perform well. It would perform better than the Pacers videos. But I'm choosing not to, because I'm trying to make content you guys maybe want to hear about. So that's that, okay? The third thing is, I ask myself is if I do hear trade rumors, does it make sense for the team to do it? Like Obi Toppin. Everybody ran to the comment section like, there's no way they're trading Obi Toppin. No, they can't trade Obi Toppin. There's no way they're going to do that. Is there? Because they've been rumored to be trying to trade Obi Toppin since the end of November. They were already calling teams about Obi Toppin at the end of November, dog. At the end of November. Does it make sense for them to trade Obi Toppin? Yes. 110% it does. Especially if they want to re-sign Miles Turner. Personally, I'd rather keep Obi Toppin. I'd rather keep Aaron Nesmith. Rather keep Benn Mathurin, which we'll get into later. But I'd rather keep Benedict Mathurin. I would rather let Miles Turner walk, let Thomas Bryant become the starter, pay Thomas Bryant whatever you paid Aaron Nesmith, and then try to pick up a backup center in free agency. But the front office does not want to do that. The front office would rather overpay Miles Turner, bring him back, and put ourselves even deeper into salary cap space hell so that Herb Simon absolutely positively has to pay the luxury tax in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Unless they trade Obi Toppin. Now, what does an Obi Toppin trade look like? Here, take Obi Toppin, give me a first-round pick, and give me somebody who makes $5 or $6 million. That's what an Obi Toppin trade looks like. It is like 110% true that they are trying to trade Obi Toppin. Sorry, I gotta be the one to break it to you. But they are absolutely, positively, yes, 100%, 110,000% yes, trying to trade Obi Toppin. Why are they trying to do it? Because it makes sense. It makes sense for them to do it. There's too many things that have to be done that Obi Toppin has to leave. They have to try to re-sign Miles Turner. Jarris Walker is too good to be a part of the third unit. Jarris Walker's a guy they want to give more minutes to. Obi Toppin will be making $14 million next season, which is more than he's worth. Good player, not worth $14 million. So now they are trying to unload him for potentially a draft pick and a lower salaried player that's maybe decent just to get off of him. So they can take that extra money, that extra $8 million preferably, and give it to Miles Turner. That's what they are trying to do. So are they trying to trade Obi Toppin? Yes, I believe that. Why? Because it makes sense for the team to do it. So that's the first thing. That's why I believe they're trading Obi Toppin. And they are 110% shopping him. Regardless of what you think, regardless of what you say, regardless of where you think the news comes from, it makes sense. So there's that. Next is the Benedict Mathurin thing. Because everybody was pissed. Everybody's like in my comment section pulling up fucking numbers, talking about lineups, this, that, and the other thing. Listen, man, okay? Offense is not what this team is worried about. Defense is. Now, with that being said, Benedict Mathurin's on-off numbers on defense are actually pretty insane. Okay? Teams with him on the floor only score 113 points per game against us. With him off the floor, it's 117. Benedict Mathurin being on the floor makes a 4-point difference in our games. Teams score 4 less points per game with Benedict Mathurin being on the floor. That's great. Those are fantastic numbers. However, Aaron Nesmith is back. They are not going to start Benedict Mathurin over Aaron Nesmith so long as he's healthy because he's the best defender on the team. They will not do that. And he's not going to start over Andrew Nembhard. So for the time being, Benn Mathurin's the 6th man. Honestly, not a bad problem to have. However, with that being said, this fan base has become absolutely fucking infatuated with Benn Mathurin. They have become so infatuated with Benn Mathurin that they don't believe there's any chance the guy could be traded. And I'm going to tell you this. Guy's been in trade rumors for 2 years. There's a reason for it. The reason for it is because, well, the team needs a solid 3. They need a really, really good wing player. I understand they went after Cameron Johnson. I don't think that's the answer. However, my problem with the fan base, and I will say this, it is very unlikely that they will trade Benedict Mathurin. Okay? I'm just bringing it to you because what the tweet, if you read the tweet and understood the tweet that I showed you was the idea that the team is playing so well that the Pacers will not trade Benedict Mathurin unless they get a first-round pick of equivalency and something they really want in exchange. Therefore, never say never. Never say never. If it's anything I've learned about watching sports my entire life, since I was 4 years old, is never say never. 6 months ago, you think the Sacramento Kings were going to be... You think Sacramento Kings fans thought they'd ever be trading De'Aaron Fox? I don't think so. De'Aaron Fox didn't sign an extension with them because he wanted them to get better. They went out and signed DeMar DeRozan. I think that was a great free agent signing. They traded for Domantas Sabonis. They drafted Keegan Murray, and it just hasn't worked out. They got rid of Mike Brown and brought in a new head coach. They've done everything they can to keep De'Aaron Fox happy, and it still hasn't worked. De'Aaron Fox wants to play with Victor Wembanyama. So the idea that people think a player can never get traded, hate to break it to you, but as I've said before in a recent video, what did Born Ready Jones used to say? This is the National Business Association. That's what it stands for. Okay? It at the end of the day, it's business. You can't, like, every player has a price, regardless of what you think. Okay? Yeah, there are certain players in the league that bring something to the table that you simply can't replace. Guys like Giannis, guys like Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There are certain guys that bring something to the table that you simply just cannot replicate. However, okay? You can't tell me that if the Phoenix Suns called us and we're like, hey, we're blowing it up. Kevin Durant's leaving and so is Devin Booker. Give me Benedict Mathurin plus salary filler and you can have one of them. You can't tell me that Kevin Pritchard would say no. You just can't. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a single second. Okay? You can't tell me that if the Minnesota Timberwolves called and we're like, hey, we fucked up. We traded Karl Anthony Towns. We got Julius Randle. Julius Randle's leaving. The team's not going to be that good. Rudy Gobert costs too much. We're blowing it up. Give me Benedict Mathurin and salary filler, and we'll send you Anthony Edwards. You can't tell me that Kevin Pritchard would say no to that. That's what I'm saying. That was the whole purpose of the video yesterday. And instead of paying attention to that, people paid attention to the idea, oh, we're never trading him. We're not trading him. Why would you make this video? We're not trading him. You're right. We're not trading him. But I'm simply saying the Pacers are basically, at least it's believed around the league, that yes, they will not trade Benedict Mathurin, but there is a price. That was the purpose of that video. That was the purpose of the video I made yesterday. It was the idea that, yes, they're not trading Benedict Mathurin. It's not going to happen. However, there's a price. Where everybody believed there wasn't a price. There is a price. And it's, give me something fucking phenomenal or you're not getting him. I just wanted to bring that to you. That was the purpose of that video. Was me telling you that, like, hey, I just want you to know that Benn Mathurin has a price. That's all. No, they're not trading him. He makes $7.2 million. What can they possibly get of equivalency that is $7.2 million? Not much. Not unless you're offering something absolutely insane. That's it. However, people get mad at me because they're like, oh, well, why would you even make this? You're just listening to rumors. Well, the rumors sometimes have some validity to them. Sometimes the rumors are right. You know, for a long time, about a year before we actually traded for Obi Toppin, guess who we were linked to all the time in rumors? Obi Toppin. Guess who we were linked to for 2 years before we traded for him? OG Anunoby. Or we didn't trade for him, but we're trying to trade for OG Anunoby. We actually tried to trade for OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam before we traded for Pascal Siakam just straight up. We wanted both of them. The price was too high. In the end, okay, we offered what, 2 or 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby? Still couldn't get him. So when people say rumors hold no validity and it's all just rumors, I beg to differ. Now, I will say this. I do think the Miles Turner rumors are all bullshit. Whenever the source is out of Los Angeles, when it comes to Miles Turner, I'm like, okay, like, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Miles Turner and Lakers trades, I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. That I can get behind. We've been hearing the same old song and dance on that for like his entire fucking career. All right, so that I can understand. But that was the only reason. That was the only purpose for that part of the video. Now, yeah, I sat there and made some trades. Yeah, I made trades just for ha-has to maybe like show you guys what could work. Like if they were interested in any of these players. Yeah, are they going to trade Benn Mathurin and Obi Toppin for DeAndre Hunter? No, they're not. Are they going to trade Obi Toppin and Benn Mathurin for DeMar DeRozan? No, I don't think they're going to. Are they going to trade Benn Mathurin and Obi Toppin and Isaiah Jackson for Brandon Ingram? No, they're not. It's just the idea. It's just fun. It just gives me something to show you guys, you know? So that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, half the trade videos you see online by people like me, granted, there are people who put out trades that are like, they'll make trade videos saying like, oh, the Jimmy Butler trade is in. And that's like, I'm like, no, like, sorry. Like, this one specific thing will never happen. And I'm guilty to it. I made a trade literally yesterday. I made a video with trades in it that nobody agreed with. Well, actually, I can't say that. But, like, most people didn't agree with them. but it's fun. Okay, that's the whole purpose of this. For anybody who does it, it is fun. At the end of the day, even when I say I see a trade video, I'm like, yeah, that absolutely isn't going to happen. I understand they're doing it because it's fun. It pops ideas into people's heads. It gives us an idea of what could happen. You know, when Jimmy Butler got traded from the Philadelphia 76ers the first time to Minnesota, I called that trade to a T. Like, I think I got maybe the draft picks wrong, which was off by 1 or 2, and one player. Every other player I called correct. So when I make trade videos, yeah, a lot of them are bad. My track record on trades is actually, it's decent. But like, at the same time, it's like, I just do this for fun. All right? I don't do this because, like, yeah, every once in a while I'll make a trade video and be like, okay, this is serious. Like, this is what I think we could really trade for. But I don't make like the trades I made yesterday, I was just throwing shit in there and just seeing what we could possibly trade for. I wasn't saying like, yeah, we should do this. There was not a single trade there that I was like, yeah, absolutely, this is the trade we should do. I was just like, this is what's possible. Like, this is the type of player you can expect for the salary of these two guys. That was the purpose of that. So, I will say this, going out on this, the Thomas Bryant thing. I wholeheartedly believe Thomas Bryant could replace what Miles Turner brings in the starting lineup. Wholeheartedly believe it, 110%. I've looked at his per 36 numbers. I've seen what he does as a starter. I've seen what he did as a starter for the Nuggets. I saw what he did as a starter for the Lakers when Anthony Davis went out. I saw what he did as a starter for the Wizards. Yeah, I think I'm on pretty good research that Thomas Bryant could replace what Miles Turner brings to the starting lineup. In fact, Thomas Bryant is the Miles Turner contingency plan. He's the insurance plan. It's like if Miles Turner leaves in free agency and doesn't come back, because Milwaukee is definitely going to try to get him. If Milwaukee doesn't make an offer for Miles Turner, I'd be very shocked. Because all they have to do is renounce their rights to Brook Lopez, who's 36 years old and on an expiring deal. Try to trade Pat Connaughton, and if they can't, trade Chris Middleton for something just slightly cheaper, like an Andrew Wiggins or something of the sort. And they will have enough room to sign Miles Turner to what he wants, upwards of $30 million a year. Okay? So, all I'm saying is, a lot of the times I make videos because I try to bring something entertaining. The reason I make videos about things I hear regarding trades, even if it's with players that are not likely to be traded, is because I think you as a fan should at least know about it. You should at least know that there's a world in which Benedict Mathurin could get traded if the right price is there, if the right package is there. And that goes with any player. That goes with even players that you think are untouchable. Guys like even Tyrese Halliburton. Okay, Pascal Siakam. If the right trade comes along, they're out of here. That's the way being a GM works. You can't tell me if Milwaukee was like, hey, Giannis ain't happy and wants to come to Indiana, give us Pascal Siakam, that Kevin Pritchard doesn't do that. You can't really tell me, actually, I like Tyrese Halliburton a lot, and I think he fits our team fine, but I think there's a world in which, I don't know, Ja Morant wants to come to Indiana, and they're like, hey, I mean, I get it, like the off-court shit, that's the first thing everybody's going to allude to with this, but talent-wise, the NBA is pretty much all based upon talent and where a player is currently. I don't want to trade Tyrese Halliburton. I think Tyrese Halliburton's one of the few guys on our team that's kind of stuck here, but the idea is never say never. I can say that now, and before, I don't know, what is it, Thursday? This upcoming Thursday? What's the calendar look like? Yeah, this upcoming Thursday. For all I know, Tyrese Halliburton could be on another team. I don't know. I highly doubt it. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you have to understand every player has a price. Every single player. There is no such thing as untouchable. Even LeBron at the current point in time. Yeah, he has a no trade clause, but you think the Lakers are not like, hey, we need to start thinking post-LeBron? Granted, LeBron James is most likely going to retire a Laker, but you can't tell me that the Lakers, it hasn't crossed their mind. You can't tell me that there isn't a package out there that they would take for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me, like, if the Celtics were like, hey, we'll give you Jason Tatum for LeBron, even though that's very unlikely that it would happen. But it's just the idea, my simple point to you is that every player has a price, and it depends on if that asking price gets met. That's the only thing I was talking about with Benedict Mathurin. Okay? Benedict Mathurin, gonna stay on the team. He'll be here past the trade deadline. Just the idea, he has a price. Just like every other player on this team has a price. So, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I think Obi Toppin is a guy that will definitely get traded, unfortunately. My personal opinion, like I stated in the beginning of the video, is I hope they leave the team the way it is. And if you're Herb Simon, now's the time to pay the luxury tax. After Milwaukee lost last night to San Antonio, they got their ass beat by San Antonio, actually. San Antonio scored the most points of any game this season against them last night. And we are now tied for 4th place in the West with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think we can catch the Knicks. Once we get into that top 3, you're a title contender, okay? And I think we're going to get there. I think this team is on its way. And while I understand people want to keep the team the way it is, I am in that camp of keep the team the way it is. But with the Obi Toppin trade, I understand why the team would want to do it. It makes sense. With Benedict Mathurin, I don't think it makes sense, but there's a price. There is a price on Benedict Mathurin. That's all I'm saying. So, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.